Let me ask you this: what's the deal with Kevin Dunn? They said that he might be guilty of insider trading.
Yeah. Well,
did you see this, Billy?
Yeah, I saw that. That's just come out in the last half hour. So yeah.
I don't know. It's all
well, if they started the investigation with Vince in April, and I'll ask Billy a question about that in a sec. But if Kevin, of course, knew about the investigation and he sells all this stock yesterday, I mean that's a little f***ed up. But Billy, now we're going back to that topic. Why did the investigation into Vince start? I haven't seen that. It was a friend of the girl who reported it or something to WWE?
I haven't seen that either. I haven't looked up anything at all. Right. So what's that? You think it's they saying it's a friend of the girl why? Because her friend suddenly had a whole ton of money, or she's crazy.
I don't know. She just reported it because she reported that the chick got her salary raised. That there was a hush payment.
Investigating?
The company WWE says they were investigating it, or this. Yeah.
So who got this out then?
How'd the story get out?
Yeah,
that's a good question. Who could gain from that? Right? Why would the story be out?
But who was the first person to report it?
I think it was Wall Street Journal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, a bunch of sites, New York Post, so they all came out like
at the same time.
Yeah. They all dropped in
So. CNN, ESPN.
Is there any other relevant news, Billy?
There's a good story here. I'm going to read it out. So I'm just going to read it word for word. I'm critical of one of the people here, but I'll read it. Has Sasha Banks been released or not? So I can find out about this. If Sasha Banks has been released by WWE, then one person who doesn't know about it is Sasha Banks. Raj Giri posted a tweet stating he believed she had been let go yesterday. However, until things have dramatically changed, Raj isn't a very connected person in the wrestling industry. Raj was once so desperate to add credibility to his website that he hired me to provide news exclusive content for a crazy amount of money given the job. This was the smartest thing Raj could have done. Unfortunately, Geary buckled under the pressure from social justice warriors like Ryan Satin and about some of the content on my podcast. However, Raj was so desperate for my information that he offered me money to work under a pseudonym and even wanted to build a second website for my content. I have the contract in my possession if Raj ever questions it. So getting back to my point, anything he says needs to be taken with a pinch of salt or in relation to any developments, it's highly likely that Geary has reacted to very real news that Sasha continues to be removed from adverts promoting her to appear. Yesterday was most significant as Sasha was removed from the largest batch of dates, meaning she isn't expected to wrestle anytime before SummerSlam. This could well mean the writing's on the wall, but as of this time, she has not been released. Okay, so the situation with Sasha is very clear from a legal standpoint. The WWE can implement a reasonable suspension for transgressions, full stop. Sasha's actions do qualify as gross misconduct. However, the WWE did not initially let her go, so they implemented a suspension instead of firing her for gross misconduct. The WWE can't suspend Sasha without pay for a long-term period, as this is seen as denying someone the opportunity to earn a living. Long-term will be classed as 6 weeks or more, and we aren't there yet at this moment in time. So after that, WWE need to, once again, pay her downside guarantee. So if they suspend her, they can't do it for a period which is determined to be denying her from making a living. So when that period is done, they have to pay her a downside guarantee. For her to be released, she would either have to refuse to come back to work, and that would be any time during these 6 weeks, as the WWE have the right to recall her whenever they choose, or once the suspension period has elapsed. So what that means is anytime like tomorrow or the day after or next week, they can say, your suspension's over, we want you to come back to work, and she has to. And that means immediately they can stop paying her if she says no. But at the moment, they're riding it out to the suspension period, I imagine.
Okay.
If Banks refuses to come back to work after the suspension, she would receive a second strike and an indefinite unpaid suspension without pay, where she would only be able to get paid when she comes back to work. and the WWE would just wait her out at that point. This is not how I've written this. I'm paraphrasing now. So in summary, Sasha Banks cost the WWE $0 while she is refusing to come to work. However, her contract is still rolling over. So there is no way out of this. The WWE are never going to make it easy for high-profile talent to leave, especially not for AEW. Sasha would need to actively be bashing the WWE in the media to secure any kind of immediate release, something she hasn't done yet. It is possible with a recent Vince McMahon scandal that Sasha could be let go to avoid the company any further media embarrassment. If the WWE are in any way afraid of this, then Sasha could be let go as early as next week, which would explain removing her from such a big block of dates. As of now, she's still with WWE. So that's that story.
Interesting. You're not a fan of her.
In what way?
I just say you've taken. I see you take like there's people you take shots at on Twitter, and I see that you're not fans of. Right? You're not fan of Bianca. You're not a fan of Sasha. I was not. I'm
a fan of her appearance, and I'm a fan of her look. I think her look.
Yeah. Okay.
I think her look has been. You know, I think we're trying to cling on to sex symbols too much. I don't think she stands up against the previous people.
Because I don't know if you listen to me and Conan's reviews of like SmackDown and stuff, or when she's on the show. She presents herself when she's an on-screen character as an absolute star. She's got on thousands of dollars worth of badass clothes. She's well made up, and she looks the part of a superstar. Just presents herself well. I was back in the day. We were reviewing her for a while.
She's that stripper that gets all the dances, and she's not the hottest girl in the club.
Right, but she looks like $1 million. Okay, but I would say this. She was kind of reckless in the ring for a while. She's kind of toned it down a lot. She hurt other people. She hurt herself, and I was saying, she's kind of like, and she was very mouthy. Like she was very outspoken and stuff and everything and stuff, to the point it's like, she had a lot of check the boxes on one, positives and check the boxes on the negatives, right? Bianca, like you're not a fan of Bianca either, huh?
No, I'm not.
I'm a fan of Bianca. I'm not a fan of the big whip, the hair thing. I'll never be a fan of that. I just think it's ridiculous that if we're suspending disbelief that somebody's going to wrestle with something like that because the opponent would just grab it constantly. If this was like the UFC, no logical combat performer would go out and perform like that, right? But she's so athletic. But sometimes she just comes across as like she makes the other girl look fake because she's so strong and athletic and quicker and faster and stuff than these girls that are trying to clumsily work their way through the match and they don't have the athleticism. But I think I like Bianca as a character. I think she's decent. She's gotten decent on the mic. I just do not like that hair thing. But I think I think they're both good on-screen characters. I think when you compare them to the AEW women's division, they blow them away. But you could actually get rid of those two, and there's girls in NXT that you could bring up and replace them immediately, and they would not miss a beat. You know what I'm saying with the women on the WWE roster. Would you agree with that?
I don't think that about Sasha, no, because I know that she pulls social media numbers, pulls YouTube views, sells.
How much does she? What type of numbers does she do?
Sorry?
What type of numbers does she do?
Well, she was kept on television a long time. Like she was moved to like 2 shows. Like her and Bayley were pulling numbers during pandemic.
Which all the WWE girls are basically, with the exception of Doudrop, she's the outline, but they're all kind of hot, in their own way, and stuff and thing. Which girls on that show, give me just a basic rundown, kind of in order, whatever who does the best numbers, like with merch and views and stuff and everything of the girls?
Oh, Becky.
Becky's by far, huh?
Becky's by far the biggest merchandise seller female they've ever had. Yeah, because she and this was largely, it's not where it was at now. But between 2018, the end of 2018, and going into the pandemic, when she left, it was that was ridiculous. That was like it was as close to like seeing her as people have been for a long time, especially towards that latter period as well. Especially going into WrestleMania 35, like she would just sell everything that she was doing. But she's not doing that now because she's behind Roman now, but she was ahead of Roman. And she only got ousted by Bray, and it took a while because Bray had to bring in more stuff. And a lot of the things that she was beaten by was the fact that he had high markup items where she had a lot of like tumblers.
Right. We talked about
Yeah.
And then Alexa Bliss does good numbers because she sells dolls and stuff and everything. Right. So she's got more items to sell basically than like some of these. Right.
Yeah, but that's why they're very reluctant to get rid of certain people, and that's what I mean. That's the thing. Like Charlotte's your performer that you're very much behind, but she doesn't have the numbers there in anything.
But Charlotte is a perfect character because she doesn't have the numbers of the stuff, but she's a great heel. And your heel doesn't have to have the great numbers, but she provides great television because she can make good baby faces. Yeah.
Yeah,
So.
I mean Ronda's obviously Ronda Rousey.
Right.
But yeah, she has. But Ronda's not. Ronda had a good year in 2018, but she's not got up there since. But I mean, Becky's still in your top 5, and Alexa's still in your top 10. There's no other girls in there. But you don't have to go too far down to find Sasha next, and then it's Bailey and Charlotte. And, your horse women are there, and Bianca. This is the thing I don't get about her because Bianca's never broke into your top 10 for merch, and she's never broken into your top 5 females. So why do you continue to push her over and over and over again? You did this. You took the belt.
Like I'm telling you why. Just from being in the business and stuff, bro. She provides like decent legitimacy to the female division because she's so athletic. She's the best athlete. She's the best female athlete on wrestling television today. And that's a good draw for like you said, wow, look at this girl. It's not like it's big numbers and everything, but she's good television because she's so athletic and she's fit and she's strong and she's good TV. You know what I'm saying? So it's not. I don't think she's great. I don't think she should be the champion. I mean, but when I watch her, it's like she's gotten way, way, way better. Like the when she first came out. But and like I said, that's why they're investing in her. She can do everything. Like she's not my favorite, but she does good TV.
Yeah, I mean the in-ring is just 50%. I mean, I know that there's another side to the business which isn't just about sales and whatnot. She's very commercially requested, like by cricket and Snickers and whatnot. Are willing
because she's one of their stars. It's like they're promoting her as one of their top girls. So of course they're like going to latch onto her.